This episode of this podcast is making me thirsty is brought to you by the Commando 450 Showerhead. Hey, welcome to This Podcast is Making Me Thirsty, the premier Seinfeld podcast. This is episode 12. In this episode, we go over part 2 of season 7. Yeah, you'll find that I don't think we're that fond of season 7. It's sort of when the show starts to take its turn. We go over the second half, all the episodes in season 7. This completes the first 7 seasons, so please check out our other episodes where we go through, the first 6 seasons of Seinfeld. And thanks again for listening. Hope you dig it. If you dig it, please pass it on. Trying to get some more listeners here. So, let someone know. Follow us on Twitter at this thirsty. And the old email is pretzelspod@protonmail. Again, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoy, and talk to you next time. Thanks.
Yep.
Hey, what's up, man?
We are live.
Season 7. This is it, man. This is the beginning of the end, I think. Season 7, the second half, and this is big time right now. This is the nitty gritty.
It was already the end, I said, season 7, first half.
Yeah, well, you've been talking. So before we got to season 7, you've been working under I guess, your whole thesis has been that it ended at season 7. Exactly. You ended at 6, and then 7 just doesn't even really count in your mind almost. Has rewatching 7 changed anything, or you're standing by that claim that it's over at season 7? It ended at 6, and everything else is just an afterthought.
Correct. Nothing has changed in my mind.
Nothing's changed. Has any episode in season 7, now that we got through it all, has any episode in season 7 surprised you or stuck out as like, okay, that was a pretty good episode?
A few, yes. I'd have to look at the list again. I mean, the Jean-Paul.
Okay, Hot Tub. Yep, Hot Tub's a good one.
Yeah, and the calzone wasn't bad.
So you got Hot Tub and calzone.
I got to look at the full list. But
I'm going to share my screen now. Let me share my screen now, because I got a few others. I agree with you on both of those. I got a few others that I think surprised me a little bit. That's why I asked. I think I wasn't as steadfast as you are on season 7 being the end.
You were high. You were high from the beginning.
I was a little high on 7. There was a few in there that stuck out to me just from seeing the list and kind of being like remembering. And now that I rewatched them, I got a soft spot for season 7, but I'm definitely not going to put it above. It's not going to be in a top season. That's for sure. I agree with you, but I'm not going to say it completely like off the.
Well, and your soft spot is in one area and one area only. It's the Costanzas.
Yeah, it pretty much is the parents. It's the parents overall. The Cadillac is all Jerry. I mean, anything with the parents, Jack Klompus, I got a soft spot. I can't. Anytime I see Klompus on there, or I see any of the parents or the old folk, I'm a sucker.
Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, now I can. Yeah.
This is the full seventh season. Rundown. You can see that Sharon's last episode ever is the showerhead, which I thought was a great episode. That. Yeah, I thought it was a good episode, actually. And I ranked it 3rd on the season. That was Sharon's last one. And he did 3 in this season. He did the first 2 and that one. Everything else has been Ackerman. The writers.
I thought Sharon's was, for the most part, gone in after season 5.
No, he did all of 6. Yeah, he
Sure
did.
about that?
Yeah. I'm gonna show right now. Let's do. I'll do a filter on just season 6. Yeah. He did all the way through. Um. Oh no, you're right. He only did 1
No,
and 6.
yeah, that's season
I'm out of my
5.
fucking mind. You're right. Uh, he did do 1 and 6, and then he came back in 7 for a couple more. But you're right. Yeah, he should have been done then.
But I think, yeah, his power was stripped from
His power
him
was completely
clearly.
stripped. And you look at the writing. The writing is all over the place in season 7. And a lot of these names, like I don't know how much you watched. You ever watch Veep? Were you into Veep at all?
No, not one
Veep
episode.
was actually pretty good. I kind of tailed off towards the end, but the beginning of Veep was very, very well done. But a lot of these names, like Mandel, I think was pretty much the guy behind Veep. Um, I think Berg and Schaefer were involved. Um, a lot of these names, Spike Ferriston, he had that show on Fox for like a season that I thought was great. It was like a late night show. You ever watch him on that late night show he had on Fox? It was like supposed to be the Fox late night show.
No,
Yeah, I remember because I
never
remember
even
his
heard
name
of him.
from Seinfeld. Yeah, his name from Seinfeld popped up. He got like Jerry as his like, first guest. He got like that poll. It was on Fox. It was like 11 o'clock. He had a couple of really good sketches. It was kind of like a Conan kind of thing. It wasn't like back then. Obviously there wasn't the political stuff, but it really wasn't political. It was very. It's kind of funny, but it ended quick. But he wrote the Soup Nazi and the Wigmaster in this season, but. All right, so season 7. Let's get down to brass tacks.
Yeah, I mean, I just burned through some of these today. Like, the funny thing is, just off the top of my head, like the doll, the shower head, like they're all kind of, yeah. Let's go through them.
You know what's
They're all
you know
like
what's
jumbled in my head.
Yeah, same with me. I didn't watch this is the first time I haven't watched them in order because, and we talked about this last time, Channel 11 has been playing season 7. Like, and remember I told you like we got Channel 11 now finally again at like 7 and
Yeah.
11 all of a sudden out of nowhere, and it's been playing season 7. So I've been watching it off of Channel 11, like off my YouTube, off the DVR instead of the damn disc the entire time. So I haven't been going in order. I sort of like I started with the disc, then I went to the Channel 11 stuff, then I had to end with the disc because I missed a couple of the Channel 11 stuff. But anyway, I've been bouncing around. So I'm on the same boat as you. Up until this point, I'd watched every single episode in order until season 7. I kind of got out of order a little bit. Are you watching them on season on Channel 11 or on your Hulu?
So just to be clear, I'm seeing a different. I'm not seeing Sharon's at all on according to Wikipedia as far as
He
directing.
directed the showerhead, the engagement, and the postponement, as far as I can tell.
Wikipedia says Ackerman all season 7.
Every single
Just
episode.
yeah, if you want to double check that.
Ah, interesting.
I mean, I know a Sharon's episode when I see one. And I don't.
This is interesting because I thought the book that I have, the coffee table book from the box set, I've been using that. I'm going to go to we've been using this a lot, so let's stick with it. The SeinfeldScripts.com. Shout out to SeinfeldScripts.com.
Yeah.
Let's go to season 7. Let's go to the shower. Let's go to the first 2. Engagement and postponement. According to this, Ackerman. You're right. We got an Ackerman on engagement. And we got, I don't see postponement. Who directed? Oh, Ackerman on postponement. Interesting. I got to double check my book. I don't have it with me, but all right. We're going to go with, I guess we're going to have to go with Wikipedia and the SeinfeldScripts.com, but I got to double check my book, man, because I'm getting the Sharon's in there. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty sure he was done after 5, and that was it.
Even the 6 you're not giving me? The 1 episode in 6 he didn't do either, you're telling me.
I would find it hard to believe, but which episode was that? Let's see.
What did I say in 6? I got him doing the Label Maker as his last episode, season 6, episode 12 of season 6. I got Sharon's doing the Label Maker. From my research. I'll have to just pull it up.
No,
I'll have to just pull it up and re-edit this or something, or add it in as an
there's
epilogue.
Ackerman as well. Ackerman's all season 6. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I gotta go to the I gotta rethink some things here. But either way, I mean, either way, okay, so he's done. All right, let's go to season 7. Let's get into it. We ended last time with the caddy, I believe, right? So
Yeah.
we're up to 7. Um now I'm gonna go on a limb here and say you didn't love the 7.
No.
I certainly didn't either.
Terrible. I mean, just
Bad. Yeah. Any redeeming qualities? Let me see what I have for my redeeming qualities on the 7, because I got the 7 ranked 19 on the season, which is this 22 episodes. So it's pretty much the bottom of the barrel here. Um, I think the whole bike thing is obviously ridiculous. The
the
so
bike thing.
yeah, the
Oh
whole
my
thing is
god.
Lane getting the bike and Kramer wanting
Yeah.
the bike, and that whole thing is absurd. Obviously, um, you got nothing in this episode, really. I mean, cachet up the yin yang is a great line. I like to use that line every so often when George says the name. It's got cachet up the yin yang. It's a good line. It's a good George line, but George is screaming this whole episode.
Bad George.
Lane
Bad George.
Like,
I mean, him. If I recall, him yelling out the car.
yep, I got
Like,
a note right here. George screaming out the window. Ridiculous. Play it out.
uh, I mean,
Let's not get upset. Whatever the hell. Like that's
yeah. I was like,
done. We're done. We're done with
that was,
at that point. You have to just cash it in.
right there. Episode is ruined.
Agreed.
Like
Agreed.
7 and soda. Like, not even funny.
No, really not funny at all. I agree. The two best things about this episode, and I always love this, is when George eating spaghetti. Whenever George's eating
Yeah.
spaghetti, he's eating the spaghetti, and then legally I can marry your daughter. He says only funny line, the good George line eating dinner, and he's like, so what does that make me? Nothing. Okay, I can marry your daughter. Like, all right. After that, we're done. I mean, that's all I got. I
Yeah.
positive.
And even that was a little much. That wasn't. It was bad. That was a bad episode. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Jerry, what did Jerry have in this episode? Because he's always my
I
constant.
don't think he had anything in this episode except like being
Oh,
like
I know. Jerry's girlfriend always wore the same
the same
thing.
outfit, the swoop, the tell me what you want. Why you don't hang up? That's good, Jerry. But I mean,
No, yeah. So Jerry wins the episode. I'll give him that.
yeah, it was.
And what's funny is when she gets the bike, and this kind of relates to like future episodes. Like they're shopping in that store, and like Jerry's with Elaine, just goes off and hits on that girl. Like it fast forwards to like when I think it was the Wig Master or something.
Yes.
When all these people are asking out Elaine in front of Jerry, like, but it goes both ways. Like they always just like pick up people when they're together, like, and no one assumes they're a couple.
Yeah, yeah. It goes all the way back to the season 2 at the one, Oppenheimer and Taft. When he picks her up at the thing, and then he's like, "Oh, that was just a friend." Yep, that the whole thing. Yeah, it happens a lot. It's kind of played out too, because it happens like in this season. It seems like it happens a lot. I think I made a note of it because it happens more than once in this season. The Wigmaster, it definitely happens, and I think it happens again. We'll get to it, but yeah, we both agree the 7 is just bad. I mean, in the season, I got it ranked 19 out of 22, and in overall, it's way down there. We'll
And
get
in
to
fairness,
overall later.
how is Mickey Mantle George's favorite player? Let's assume George was born in the 60s.
I
Well,
agree with that. I agree
early.
with that.
He's like,
I've always thought about that. It's like where we. Maybe it's Larry David's, but we're not basing that on George. You can't make that. It's just.
yeah, you want to
I
say
thought about that with
Thurman
Francesa. He always talks about, he was watching Mantle in like 65 when, you know what I'm saying? Like
and
Francesa
he was
born in 1950 or 40.
Yeah, he was like 6. Yeah, I don't buy it. They just want to glorify it and make Anyway, yeah, bad episode. Bad episode. I might rank it. Well, let's see. Let's see how
The
far
season's not. There's a couple of clunkers in the season, so it's hard. But I have it 19 out of 22. Just give Mickey Mantle. My favorite Mickey Mantle line is in the Bronx Tale when he's like, "Mickey Mantle doesn't care about you. Why you giving Mickey Mantle?" paying your
Exactly.
paying your fucking mortgage.
Exactly.
It's great. All right, the Cadillac. I got a sort of a soft spot for the Cadillac. I rank it 5 on the season. Um, I'm calling it one episode because it was an hour long when it aired, so it's not parts 1 and 2. It's full blast Cadillac. Um, Again, you got me. I got a soft spot for the
Yeah.
folk. Just seeing Jack Columbus. The whole eating dinner before 6 o'clock. After 6 o'clock, and look at you at the Cadillac, and
Yeah, I'm
uh,
not. I'm not force feeding myself a steak at 4:30 to save a couple of bucks. I use that all the time.
great line, great line.
But other than that, you know what? What turned me off so much about this episode was that stupid cable guy like chase scene.
I
I
agree.
mean,
I,
it
it's
it
hard, yeah.
it. I don't even know how it fit in the stupid music. It bothered me then, and it bothered me more now.
See, it bothered me less now for some reason. I somehow I kind of feel like the mood. I don't know. I kind of was like, this is bad, but let's just embrace it for what it is. Kind of like the jazz music scene on the overhead shot in the diner when they're doing the coming up with the plan for the menage a trois. It's kind of like gimmicky. Like I think that's what they were trying to go for, like the whole chase scene and like
But it wasn't. It didn't even compare to the Menage a Trois. It wasn't even. That was just subtle, and it was George and Jerry. This was like, I don't know. It bothered me big time. It was
I
so
agree.
long.
I agree.
They're
I
going through
totally
Central
agree. I
Park
can't disagree. And I don't know why I'm putting it so high. And I feel like
because it's because the clump is like and then the
so
Cadillac.
listen.
Anyway,
So here we
yeah,
go. Listen, this is why I'm putting it so high. Two reasons. The parents, the Florida, the Clompus, the old lady, the old bag, that whole thing. I gotta put it up there, right? I need something else. You're right. The Kramer thing bothered me a lot. But
I,
I love the George Mercer Tomei stuff. I love the George Mercer
yeah.
stuff. When he's trying to lie with Elaine and I don't like the Elaine hooked on Jerry. But I like how
Terrible.
George kept bothering her when she's all hooked on Jerry and George are calling, Elaine, I need the number. And she's trying to like flirt with Jerry. Like that whole thing. I like the George Mercer Tomei stuff.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't love it at the time. I didn't like, and I love my cousin Vinny. I love Marissa Tomei.
My Cousin Vinny is
I'm
my
not.
favorite movie of all time. I'm going on record.
Yeah, yeah, you can't question any of these, but I don't know. It just didn't like fit. Like I don't know. I felt forced. Oh, you like short, stocky, bald men. Like I don't know. This is like have Ackerman written all over it. It's just if it wasn't for Columbus and that it's unwatchable. I think. I know. I'm tough on this episode, but
Unwatchable? There's not an episode of Seinfeld that's unwatchable. You're getting out of control now. It's not unwatchable. You can watch it and be okay. I'm telling you, you'll be fine. You're laughing. You'll get a
um,
chuckle. You'll get a chuckle.
yeah,
They
yeah.
definitely. Did you
Elaine was so
notice
bad.
how
Great.
many different Kramers in those exterior shots? They've like
Yeah,
that Kramer double so many times.
yeah, but that bothers you. Yeah.
Bothers me. Yeah, no, I agree with you on the whole cable thing, except for the end. I kind of liked how they hugged it out at the end. I don't know why. Kramer makes a good face on that. I think it just like hugs him.
I didn't mind the hug out. I didn't mind
Yeah,
the
the
hug out.
hug out was okay. What did you? I got to ask you this. Did you pick up on this? Was that Rebecca De Mornay on the phone when Kramer looks out the second time and it's the big black lady on the phone and he's like thinks it's going to be the cable guy and it's not. And then the Muffin Top episode, the black lady comes in from the soup kitchen, Rebecca De Mornay. Was that the same lady? Did you pick up on that at all? It was very slight.
I did not pick up on that.
I think it's the same lady.
But I guess we all look alike to you, huh? Because there's a.
Oh, here we go. Sugar Ray Robinson. Oh man. I
Wait,
mean,
what season was the Rebecca Dorme?
this season, Muffin Tops. It's oh no, it's not this season. What am I talking about? It's I think it's season 8, the next season. Channel
Yeah,
11's
I'm
got me
like,
all screwed up now because I'm watching every episode on Channel 11. They're doing season 8 also. Yes, you're right. It's not this
that's
season.
probably why I didn't pick up on it because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
haven't
that
seen
makes sense. When you see on season 8, you might pick up on it. Um, Just one last thing on the Cadillac is the lobster shirt. You sent me that picture. You got that same shirt, right? The Kramer was wearing
Yeah, my
lobster in this
brother.
episode.
Yeah, my brother-in-law got it for me for some reason, but it's a great shirt. I wore it this weekend.
Is it? Would he buy it off like a Seinfeld site, or is it literally just a shirt?
He got off like Etsy.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I got a
Yeah,
really cool. I'll take a picture of it, send it to you. A Seinfeld picture off Etsy. It's like it's like a what do you call it? A moral, a mural. It's
mural.
like yeah, it's like all like it's just all basically a bunch of different stuff clumped together that all has to do with an episode. Like you can kind of, if you look at it, there's like a million episodes in there, and it's kind of cool. Someone made it on Etsy. I bought that one. Um, all right, yeah, the whole Elaine like and Jerry thing, no good. The whole Kramer cable guy thing, no good. You got George and Marissa Tomei, and you got Jerry, Columbus and the Cadillac and everything. It has a soft spot for me, but maybe 5 is a little too high. But I'd
Yeah,
like to see
yeah.
your rankings when it's all said and done, because you
I
hate
know.
season 7 so much. You still have to rank them, right?
Of course, I got to rank them. But yeah, Columbus was really good. The parents stuff was very. I like that whole stuff down in Florida.
Gotta love it.
Jerry not able to
Gotta love
sleep.
it. You gotta love it.
Like Elaine calling him. Come on.
The Lane stuff was silly.
They like just like you could tell like the flow. There's just like no flow to these episodes. That's
There's
big.
no
And then
flow in season 7. Very few episodes have a flow in season 7. I agree.
all right, just
They seem very
choppy and
forced,
yelling.
choppy. Yes, that is a great way to describe it. They're choppy. They're very like choppy and forced, and like here's the scene, jam this scene in, jam that scene in, get this try. It's not. It doesn't flow at all.
Yeah, like
That
let's have
I can see
Kramer
that.
run around the city and get like it's fake
I agree.
laughter. Yeah,
I agree. That's good. That's good. Shower heads next. I like the shower head again because it's got the parents in it, so I definitely like it. It's got Uncle Leo and you're an Adonis, and that all the 2 scenes back to back when he first tells him he's Adonis. That whole thing is great.
I enjoy the showerhead minus Elaine.
Exactly, 100%. The Elaine stuff is ridiculous. I hate the Elaine stuff in this one. The poppy seeds and fucking, what's his face? Peterman is involved again.
Yeah, Frank's very funny in this, just small little lines, but
Frank is great in this.
yeah, they go to Tonight Show. That's yeah, anti-Semite stuff. Uncle Leo, that was funny. You got to get
You think
out
the
of
insane
it.
asylum elsewhere? I don't know if it's like work to you guys, but the when George's reaction when his parents are moving to Florida is fucking classic George, and then they call Jerry's parents are staying. He breaks the bottle, and that whole switcheroo is really good.
Well, they're
All
drinking there
George
too.
stuff.
They
Yeah, they're
rarely do.
drinking. Yeah, they only drink when they're celebrating. It seems like.
Yes, which you know,
I'm trying that now, to be honest with you.
it's fair.
I took a few days off. I took a
Oh
few
yeah, I'm
days
the
off.
opposite when I'm not celebrating. But
Now this is the Del Boca Vista. I mean, you can't. This episode, you can't keep. We're going to be in the shuffleboard core. We went over this one. Rest in peace. Frank Costanza passed away, Stiller. But we're going to be in the shuffleboard. We're going to be all over. That whole Del Boca Vista stuff. And
him calling him and just going right into it was a work of art. Yeah. This is a top. Yeah, I like you have this ranked third for the
yeah,
episode.
third for the season. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah, it's Rye,
top
Hot
three.
Tub, this, and then really that's the whole season for me. And I had to rank them, so we had to put things somewhere. But I mean, those were really the best episodes by far. There was one, oh, when Jerry makes that. It's a funny little thing. When Jerry makes that phone
Well,
call.
and you to be fair, you like the ride better than I do.
You don't like the Rye. I know. I don't know how you don't like the fucking Rye, man.
I like it. I don't like number one it with
In the
these.
contest of the season.
Yeah, I'm aware.
You're still okay. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
aware. I'm aware.
You are aware.
All right. I just try to make it because
Listen, if we all agreed, I mean, come on.
I understand, but I haven't really gotten a good grasp on if you liked anything in season 7 or how are you even ranking season 7 because you're down on the whole you're sour to go into you're sour on this whole season.
Well, it
I
really
can't wait to
bothers
hear
me.
your take on 8 and 9 if this is how you're going with
Oh,
7.
God. I mean, listen, 6 started to fade. You could feel it, but it was still had some strength. This took a complete U-turn and
It
choppiness and
does. You could tell.
Elaine
And the
and
whole
Kramer and the yelling. It just yeah,
I
does
agree. I
Frank
agree. I'm trying to
do
find some
Frank
bright spots.
do Frank and Estelle help things? Yeah. I mean, listen, I think you're on board. You're killing the soup Nazi and all
Oh
this
no,
stuff.
I don't love season 7. Don't get me wrong. I don't like season 7 really much at all, but I am finding some bright spots.
Well,
And my key,
your bright spots are the Costanzas.
right, exactly. What I say they usually revolve around the parents. Yeah, my bright spots usually revolve around the parents. But the doll, which is has the parents, I don't love. I have the doll ranked 16th out of 22 on the season. Um, the Kathy Griffins. I use all. I do like. I'm saying it doesn't wrong with the parents, but it does because the place to be, the billiard room. I love.
Yeah.
I always love that line. It's the place to be.
And
Um,
I remember watching the pool table scenes live and enjoying it.
oh, I loved it live. Loved it. I always go back to the place to be line. What do we call it? What do we call it? The place to be. And the maestro's like, then I shall be. I shall be there. Or whatever he says. Um, the
But you hate the maestro.
I hate the maestro. I do. I do.
He didn't deserve a callback. Yeah.
No, he didn't deserve a callback. The you know, uh, Frank Costanza wasn't born in America. I love that. They don't want me. I don't want them. He's not into the politics. Just can't
Uh,
be president. I just love Costanza. I guess it's all it comes down to. This is the Pavarotti Domingo, the other guy
but
episode.
to your point earlier, if I had to go back to your thoughts on the Penske files, like that doesn't elevate a show.
You're right. It doesn't, and that's I don't have this very high. I don't. I It's interesting, and I have you in the back of my mind when I'm ranking this shit. I hear you saying stuff, and I'm like, oh, I gotta change it. Oh, I gotta change. I don't know what to do. I'm all discombobulated because I hear you saying stuff like that, but then I'm
No,
like
and listen,
other things that carries it for me. I don't know what
you
carries it, what doesn't anymore.
you gotta listen. You gotta go with your gut. That's what I told the Journal News as a junior. With all the influence of drugs and cheating, I said just go with your gut. And Phil
Explain to me this
Carbone
journal news. I need
and,
more
and,
context.
and Phil Carbone ripped me because he sorted the paper. They were interviewing teenagers like North Rockland, Nanuet, blah blah blah. So the whole article was about like essentially drugs and alcohol and stuff. But I knew obviously my mother was going to read this, so they said like what are you worried about or what challenges you out there? And I said, oh, it's cheating on tests or something like that because I didn't. I'm not going to talk about alcohol and drugs. Um, so I was like the only one that talked about cheating. But then they're like, what advice do you have to kids out there? And I said, just go with your gut. You know. So
Good
that's what I'm
advice.
telling you
Good
here.
advice. I don't think you took it back then, but it's good advice now.
Yeah, go with your gut.
Go with your gut. So if I look at the name, my gut tells me I didn't like the doll then. I don't really like the doll now, to be honest with you. The doll, I didn't like the Kathy Griffin stuff. I did love. I know it's a funny little part, but when the maestro's taking the rubber band off the poster, he's like, I always love that scene. He flicks
Yeah,
it
yeah.
off all the way. I don't know why I love that. Um, I haven't brought this up, but I should. I've brought it up a million times because you always notice the triangles, right? There's always triangles in the background. And like it goes back early on in Seinfeld. The triangles are a theme. You'll see triangles in the
I
back
haven't noticed.
walls, art. You have, right? You've noticed that?
No, I haven't.
No? Oh my gosh, dude, you gotta take another peek. You'll see triangles everywhere. Dude. I don't know why. And they mention it the one time the artist is in the triangles. One of the episodes where George buys the artwork or whatever is in the triangles.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But they show triangles like all the time. Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't love this season. I didn't love this season.
this episode,
This
yeah,
episode.
Kathy Griffin, the doll, like they're taking their pants off. Was that this? They're taking their pants off, or
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
the
yeah.
other?
They're taking the pants off is this one. Yeah.
Uh,
Estelle walks in. They're playing in their boxer shorts.
she brought in Budweisers, by the way. That's
Mm-hmm.
great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, Jerry. Oh, what did Elaine have? Oh, her like the
She
third.
like the maestro. She brought the Oradent to him, and then got the autograph
Yeah,
for him, and then spilled the wine on it.
yeah, what was the whole thing? I didn't. I never followed the thing with the toothbrush. Like,
It's just dumb. It's just they had to tie
okay,
in the whole what they got fixated on, and this is why you don't like season 7. At least why I don't like season 7 and beyond, is they got fixated on the story, the tying together of the story. How can we make everything piece together so well and everything? And they forgot to just be fucking funny and have good dialogue and just let it flow. So
yeah,
Jerry goes there, gets the fucking package from the chick. It breaks in the thing, and now he's got to tell her to get a package, and she brings in no problem. Then he gives Elaine the package, and it's too big. So everything's got to tie together, and they just lose the funny. They don't think about funny. They just think about how can we make everything tie together so perfectly and mix and match. And it's like, dude, just fucking be funny, you know?
that's a great summary of it. Yeah, there's just who cares? Why would he bring the package to the backstage? I don't get it.
She
And
made
listen,
such
it's
a
a
big deal
show,
about
huh?
I know, but that's the thing too, because then you hear people listen. The 10 people listening to this thing are like, "Oh, it's a show. Who cares? Suspend your disbelief. Who cares? You're dissecting
Who
it."
cares?
That's
I
what we're doing.
care.
Exactly. That's what we're doing. We're going through the entire series. So we talked about what was good at the beginning. This is what's bad about it now, and some people like this better than the other part. I
And not, no,
personally.
no, no, not what was good in the beginning. What was great in the beginning.
Right. I mean, what made it the best show of all time was the beginning, like the first, what they got away from that and got into the whole like let's make everything fit and have a story and tie them all together and bring in all these characters and it's like no dude, I just want Jerry and George talking about relationships and being fucking funny. um yeah, so
Right, which leads into the Friars Club, which they kind of get a little back into that when they're like when George says he can coach in the NFL.
it's a great line.
When they,
That is great. The Gatsby's, or could be like the Gatsby's. I always thought that was kind of funny. You're right. They get into it, but to stand by your thing and not my
yeah,
thing, but I'm going to bring it. Uh, your thing's becoming my thing. The more I'm watching these, like I said, you're in the back of my mind. I have this ranked low because I can't let that carry the episode. I didn't love this episode. I loved the little banter. George and Jerry bring it back, like you said. They got the conversation going, but overall, this episode is flat. It was flat live for me. It was flat this time for me. Your thoughts?
um, yeah. So I saw the Rob Schneider thing. I laughed out loud actually when he when he went back in with Elaine and just tried like
That move with Elaine was hilarious. I have to admit. Yes, he does it twice. He just dives into her to her freaking
yeah.
breast like just that's his move. It's so funny. He does
He
it
was
twice.
like he was very funny in the whole episode, but Elaine was like, even her putting on the earphone at the end. I'm like, this is so stupid. Like, just why?
That was horrible.
Pat Cooper, but I looked up Pat Cooper. He's still alive. He's 90, by the way.
Wow.
The comedian, yeah. Um, yeah, George like pushing Jerry. Like, we'll be the Gatsby's. We'll double date, and Jerry's not into it. Like, it was good. It wasn't like it just brought back a little bit of their banter,
Yes, I
but
agree. I agree. It brought back a little bit of the banter, but it just wasn't not enough to sustain. I liked when Jerry goes to the bathroom. Hey Bob, behind when he's pissing, he's like,
love it. It's
Hey Bob.
great.
That was good stuff. And he goes back to the ladies, like, I got nothing. Like, what'd you get? Yes, it was funny. That was a good little scene. Our boy David Steinberg is mentioned when they're at the Friars Club. They go, "That's
Yes,
Steinberg, right? Do you hear that shit? That
I
was
picked
good."
up on that.
Yep,
So
yep.
that's the guy. That's the
That's the
writer.
guy. Yeah, that's the guy. He's the director. He was a comedian. He was a big guy in the Tonight Show, the Carson Tonight Show. Big guy. I mean, how big was Rob Schneider's copier guy on Saturday Night Live back in the day? I mean, that was like that was like that was the thing, man. That's all we quoted
Make a
all the time.
copy.
They can copy
Yeah.
it. That was the thing. He's underrated. He's a good, I like him.
Very, very underrated.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, he's had a nice career, like,
Well, he's
being in
got
all these Sandler
Sandler.
movies.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got Sandler, but I just think the when Jerry decides not he's sour, doesn't go back with them, and then it's just George and Susan. talk about the shoelaces. The first time they talk about the shoelaces, and they bring it back
Yeah,
on. But that's great. That's a great. George is just so miserable. Just like I can get some shoelaces. Okay, great.
and just going back to like they bring that back. I don't know. Like I think that was for like this new fan. Like, oh wow, remember they talked about that in the other episode? Like, just I don't know, corny, very Ackerman like.
You're right.
Nah,
It goes back to what I was saying. Everything has to tie together, link it
yeah,
together, move it around, knock it in. Every story. It's like, no,
even
just be funny.
yeah, and I don't know if it's. Oh, that might have been the Marissa Tomei episode that it bothered me that they
Manure.
not well
I
not
like
in the
Manure.
manure thing. The even bringing back Art Vandelay, like all right, like who are you dating? Dating Art Vandelay? Like I don't know. To me, it was just too much of that.
Importer
Like
exporter used 100 times, and I still don't know what the fucking importer exporter is. I do love. We didn't talk about it in that episode, but when Georgia says matches, big long
yes,
matches, I fucking love that. That delivery is amazing.
because he says it so
He
quick and
says
like
it's so
we're so sure of himself.
so sure. Just matches, big long.
He gets punched.
She just fucking decks him. That when he says matches, I fucking love it. That's one of the best George deliveries ever.
Yeah, I think
He's
so
like
too.
he just looks at matches like I like
But
it.
what's funny? But what's funny about that? Not funny, but like the lie wasn't that like Elaine says, "Oh, he's going to focus on the importing," and George said, "Oh, he's going to focus on the exporting." Like I wouldn't have picked if I was Susan, a normal person. I wouldn't have picked up on that. I'd be like,
I
"Oh,
didn't
you
pick
know
up
what?"
on it watching. I didn't even know that they mixed it up.
Right. And it's funny how she picked up on it, but it's a show. I get it, but
Yeah.
like if it was a bigger lie, like the specific what is the import? That was funny. Yeah.
When he says matches, and you got to think, what I love about it too is the writers. They just landed on matches, big long matches. It could have been anything. Like I think Elaine says diapers and something else,
And
and he
chips.
just
Yeah.
yeah, it's a matches, big long matches. That's a great line. Yeah. So the Fires Club, it's got some. For me, I still ranked it. Not great on the season. I got it fucking. I got a 20th out of 22 on the season. I mean, even the George Jerry banter couldn't save it for me.
Yeah, I'm not as down on that as let's say 7, but
7. I got 719, so I guess I was one. I wasn't either. I got 7-1 above it. Um, all right, next one is the Wig Master. I got it 15 on the season out of 22.
Spike Ferenstein wrote it.
Mike
Huh?
Farenston, that's my boy. I mean, I like that show. I wish that show lasted. He had a couple of great. He had some great sketches in that thing, man. But I think it was before. He was too soon. It was like before his. If that came out now, I think it would be huge. But it just came out at the wrong time. Um, but the Wig Master. I mean, the prostitutes turning tricks in the cars and Kramer with the jacket and the pimp. Um, you know, not great episode to me. I don't
No,
love it at
Jiffy
all.
parking. Yeah, that was like felt like just forced laughter.
The
Like
whole Coolies and Jerry getting all mad. They're not hitting on him with the gay guys and with Elaine in the store. That guy with the ponytail, I couldn't stand that fucking guy. I mean, that was his point of him, I guess, but I didn't like him at all. Nicole Miller.
the one scene I did like and it had Elaine in it was when they met his friend Ian and they trying to say his name. I always kind of like that episode, that scene. I don't know why. It's Ian. I don't know.
No, I get it. That was good. That was good. She
And
tries to
is
say
that
it
guy,
twice. And
and is that guy Ian or Ian?
he looks familiar.
That's not the guy who's in every episode, the redhead, is it? Like
He does look familiar.
you know how
What
he's in
episode is he in?
the redhead who's like he's in the Chinese. He's in literally he's probably in every episode of Seinfeld. He's like got light
I
red hair,
think you're right.
but I don't because he never had a speaking scene until this.
Right. But he's there. He's definitely there. He did look familiar. I couldn't figure out why he looked familiar. I think he's in every single fucking Seinfeld episode in the background and stuff. I think you're
Yeah,
right. I think it is that guy.
but I don't know if it's him because he had a little like goatee. They made him look a little different.
Yeah.
But the wig. What else happened in the Wigmaster?
You didn't love it, I'm assuming.
No, I didn't love it.
I don't
The
got much on
Wigmaster.
this one really.
Yeah, the Wigmaster guy. Like, and why did he even sit with him? Like Kramer and that girl just got up and left. Like, where were they going? Like Jerry would have never just sat down with someone like that. Little out of character. Um, George
It was
looking at
just
him. Man,
ridiculous. What bothered me about that scene was, I mean, it was again forced, but it's a show. But still, they're like, "Hey, join us." Oh, we gotta go. They all leave. Like, what are you doing? Ask people to join you if you're fucking leaving in 5 seconds. That's what was stupid about that scene. You know, it's like, "Oh,
well, they
come
were.
join us," and then, "Oh, I just remembered. No, I gotta go," and they all just leave. And it's just Jerry
Well,
and the dude.
it was all to just set up. Yeah, a gay guy asking that
Right?
guy out. And
Exactly.
yeah, it didn't. It didn't vibe.
Forced. 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 Um. All right. Calzone. I like the calzone. It ended up being 6 on the season for me. I thought it would be higher when it was all said and done, but I stopped it at 6. Um, I think the whole hot chick thing, it was a little bit silly. Um, you know, I think that's probably what turned me off by this episode. Um,
Really?
yeah, I mean, it's just it was they proved the point, and then they proved it again, and they had to prove it again. It's just like we get it. Like Jerry gets pulled over. Yeah, you must have got me when I was slowing down. Like the movie theater thing was funny. Then you got the I'm pulled over thing, and then it's like and then the end, Jerry's walking her dog still. That was kind of funny. I like now he's the fucking on the other end of it, and he's like still doing shit for her. I like that part of it. But I thought George carried the episode. And Elaine stuff was just kind of silly with the Todd Gack stuff. And am I going on a date or not? And wait, is this the date? You're meeting your parents? And it's like it just seemed forced. Like what? It just like Gack stuff seemed too forced for me. Just like not laugh out loud, funny, natural.
No.
Like let's put a funny premise again. It's like let's get a premise and jam it in there, and everyone will laugh at it. You know?
Yeah, it was. This was a George and Big George Steinbrenner episode for sure. And like, yeah, Jerry making fun of the. He's. I'm eating lunch with him every day. I'm getting decisions done on everything. Like, just being a Yankee fan, then like the whole stuff was funny. Live, I remember as well.
Yeah, with you two guys at the helm with the last piece of the puzzles in place. This is Aaron, dude. This is Aaron. The season they win the freaking World Series. I mean, this aired in April of '96. They
Yeah,
just started the season. They just started the season, and they go on to win the World Series, and they make cracking jokes like crazy.
but even this, like, I feel like it's like I still liked it. Don't get me wrong, but like
I
the
liked it
tip
too.
jar, like just like I don't know, like forced things in. It was more like stand-up comedy things. They kind of just tried to force a whole episode around. I don't know how to explain that, but
Yeah, no, I
um,
get it. I get it. The you know the I thought the George tip thing was actually funny when he like because that's happened to me. Is ever you want to
oh
make sure
yeah,
they
yeah, of
see it.
course.
They don't see it. I love his life. They don't see it. What's the point? Like it's such a horrible. It's just I agree with it. I don't know why, and maybe I'm a fucking weird, selfish, narcissist. But I agree with him. Like, what's the point if they don't see it? Like, I tried to give you the tip, you didn't see it. Now I'm the bad guy. Like, it's just funny.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. Believe me, we've all been there.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Newman and George. Oh yeah, that is the first time they were together. I don't care for you, Costanza.
Yeah, yeah. I like the Newman George thing when George goes over there. And once a week I'll prefer cannoli and I get a pepperoni slice and a calzone. Like, Newman's all over this season, by the way. Speaking of secondary, I mean Newman's in almost every episode. He's basically basically a star of half the episodes. I mean, they're just I know you're not a fan of the secondary characters, and they really push him hard in this season, the whole season between Peterman, Newman,
Yeah, but no, but
Mickey.
Newman is a 1A fringe versus like
Like Peterman.
yeah, Peterman is like level 2 or 3. Like he's like a Banya. Like Newman is a core character, so I don't mind that. And he never really takes charge of the episode. They're usually pretty delicate with that. To be fair, yeah. Did you enjoy, or did you think it was too gimmicky again, or like the Kramer drying his clothes in the ovens and stuff.
Eh, didn't love it, but I mean, it's Kramer. With Kramer, it's hard to, you know, it's hard to be like, oh, that's too gimmicky or whatever. Or it's too crazy or it's too absurd because it just gets crazier and crazier. I mean, where do you draw the line with Kramer, right? So that's his character. So I get it. It was funny. I loved his, the whole thing with the paisan and everything, and screaming at him and the whole. I love that. So I'm on board with that. I don't think we even talked about it. The episode where he got thrown into the fucking river. I mean, that was like, when he wasn't sleeping. I mean, that was probably as absurd as it gets with Kramer. I think the shirt and the dryer stuff wasn't so bad.
Yeah. Well, someone else threw him in the river. Yeah, it was a little crazy, but
No, but I mean, like his whole plot is that was just ridiculous. I ended up in
Jerry
the
just
Hudson. I woke up in the Hudson River. I mean, that's a funny line when he says it, but I mean, overall.
Jerry just watches like two guys carry out a body. He doesn't say anything.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the line of like Jerry just not at that point, just like
Yeah,
not.
no. So the calzone's an enjoyable episode. Like I
I
said,
definitely have. I always had a soft spot for the Calzone. Rewatching it, I ended up at 6 on the season. I thought I was going to be higher, but
top six is pretty good out of 20.
yeah,
That's top third. I mean, top
22, yeah.
quarter.
What did you think about the bottle deposit? I remember watching the bottle deposit live and loving it live. Rewatching it, I would say it wasn't as great. Um, I can't remember.
No,
That's crazy.
I didn't. I didn't.
I ended
I
at
didn't. I didn't love.
22, middle of the pack.
I tell you, what's one of my favorite lines ever is from this show, but that's it. It's what's his name? Raymond's brother. The how's the washer fluid's fine. The washer fluid's not fine. It's top 10
When
line.
he screams at him.
Yeah, the washer fluid is not fine. Nothing bad.
He does a great job. That guy.
Yeah.
What's his name? Brad Garrett. He does a great job. I don't like the whole like Putty's just gone. This guy's his guy. I know that the Putty thing, with the I'm doing my move. Don't do my move. You're not my mechanic
Don't worry,
anymore. But
he'll be
like,
back.
yeah, I know. But just another silly thing that all of a sudden. They also bring back Sue Ellen in this one, which is funny.
Well, listen, I think that's like, is it kind of like, going to Costa's, then going to Ronnie's, just
You're
like
right. I
mixing
mean,
it
I
up?
bounced around. I was thinking about that today, actually. I gone to Merritt's, gone to Costa's, gone to
Yeah.
Ronnie's, Pilates. It's like we know so many mechanics, and it's like you never really. I don't know. Makes sense. Um,
But the whole bottle deposit thing, I don't know. It just,
it's so dumb. The thing is, you
they
want
were
to
just,
suspend your disbelief. You want to just say it's a show, but it's like, what are they doing? Why is Newman drinking all of those bottles? If they're just gonna do that, why don't you just pour them out in the fucking sink? If you're just buying them to the bottle deposit them, doesn't make any sense.
and
It's so
again,
silly.
all these episodes are more for like the new Seinfeld fan, like, oh yeah, the 10-cent thing in Michigan. Like, I don't know. Like,
Newman didn't hear of it. I mean, who didn't hear
nope.
at that point? Like this
Oh,
all
he thought you had to pay to recycle it. That was
I
stupid.
know it's so dumb. They're tying everything together. The clubs end up in the car, and then you start thinking about it. Why the fuck would you spend $20,000 in clubs and leave them in the car, right? Well, it's just so dumb. I don't know. The guy was funny though. He's like the dark haired person on the right, and then the shapely woman on the left. When he's
Yeah,
that was funny.
he
Um,
was good.
I love Wilhelm. Um, by the way,
Oh, this is
aired on my
the
birthday,
project.
96. This episode aired on my birthday. Um, this was when George. I do love when they're trying to figure out, downtown. They go through the song, and Jerry's like
Yeah.
downtown. That's a great scene. I've always loved that scene.
Yeah, they play the music.
Yeah,
The guy in payroll. Yeah.
the guy in Peril was funny when George is yelling at him and everything. That guy was good.
Yeah.
I think that was good.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's the bottle deposit thing that really threw me off. Like, That was just, I don't know. And the whole going after the clubs, he stole the car. Like,
And this is the part, if you really want to get into like continuity and suspending disbelief, Kramer goes, there was a New York plate and we're in Ohio, so those are pretty good odds when they see the car. We're in
yeah.
Ohio, he says. How the hell did the mechanic get to Ohio and catch up to Kramer and fucking Newman? How did he catch up to them? He's driving 100 miles an hour. They left like the day before. You get to Ohio already?
Was it the day
10 hours
before?
away. Yeah, it seemed like that way when I'm watching them. All of a sudden, in the country, Jerry kept saying they're up in the country somewhere. They're in fucking Ohio.
He said Ohio, then he said the country. Yeah, I did like that Kramer line. Like, those are pretty good odds, but like,
What I
um,
like is that Kramer just ditches new. I like that Kramer shows loyalty to Jerry. Just lets
I
Kramer
like that too.
just completely fucking kicks him out of the car. I mean, I remember watching it live and being like, wow, like Kramer just showed that like he's 100% Jerry. Like, fuck Newman. I'm kicking him out of the freaking car and I'm following. Like, that was huge, I thought.
Yeah, and they should have Ohio. They probably should have said Ohio. They should have said upstate New York. I don't know how to get. I don't know how to get to Michigan, but you could probably go up. Actually, yeah, you go up through Canada. Actually, it's probably the fastest way. But anyway, um, oh yeah, Kramer had a cell phone. It was
Yeah, just
very
pulled out a
rare.
cell phone out of nowhere. I mean, come on. I mean, I love when he says we're lost the fat man and we're running lean. I mean, I've been watching this live, laughing at that, laughing at Newman at the farmer's daughter stuff was kind of funny. Um, but this, you know what it is? You're right, though. It's a ratings thing because this was an hour-long episode. There was
That's the problem.
when they get the hour-long episode was a big deal. It was like NBC hour-long episode. Everyone's jacked up for it. Let's do this, and they got to jam it all in and make it the whole thing. And
And when I think hour long episode, it better be special. It better be that back to back California or Keith Hernandez. Like, that's the level I want. And then when you come with something like this, I
in
don't know.
this season, they do it twice. The Cadillac's also back to back. The Cadillac's way better than this, in my opinion. But neither one of them are what you're talking about level. They're not
Right.
close to that level.
And keep in mind, listeners out there, that's the level I'm talking about. I'm hard on these guys, but because of what they put forward from season 2 through 5. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean 2 through 5. You really can't beat 2 through 5. I mean, this 7, you start to see it. I can't wait till 8 and 9, but you start to see it in 7. You start to see it's just so forced. That's what it feels like. It's
So
forced.
it's just, and there's just like season 4 and Penske. It's like they're like lovable. He's a lovable loser, and now he's just a guy yelling, and it's just, I don't know.
Yeah,
So,
I think the reason for that is twofold. I think it's the actor decides I got the character, I got a hook, let me play it up, and then what you're gonna agree with is the director lets it all just like Ackerman just lets them do their okay, George, you're gonna be the yelling guy, Kramer, you're gonna be the crazy guy, Lane, you're gonna be the like before that they were like just doing what was written and it was written well and it was just funny and then they're like, oh, I'm just gonna be the yelling guy, that's it, da, da, da. And then, it's like, oh man, like what the hell happened?
you think that would happen under Sharon's watch? No way.
Exactly, you're right, that's what it is. I think the director has to fucking get the actor to be like, no, don't just rely on this fucking hook. You have to right, yeah, it has to be funny. It stopped kind of being like funny for this, I don't know. It's so it's we're going back over it like you said with a fine tooth comb and really pulling it out, man. We're showing that that's what happened. I mean, that's really what happened. Um, I watched the Wait Out today, actually. The last two, the Wait Out and the Invitations. The Wait Out's next. Could have done a lot. I kind of liked the Kramer in the jeans was funny.
Really, you like that?
I for a Kramer I don't know. I kind of liked Kramer in the jeans. I thought it was kind of funny. Um, uh, Other than that,
To me, it went on the whole episode. Like,
I mean, it was Kramer's thing.
Jerry trying to pull him off. Like, I don't know. It wasn't like the Kramer. Like again, the Kramer I like is the guy who gets along with everyone, drinks that beer, smoking like eccentric. Like this was just like I, I don't know. Again, forced. You could just feel it. I did like the Mickey stuff. Mickey always helps out with Kramer, for sure. Um,
I got a 13 out of 22, so I didn't love it. That's like a carry. I didn't love
so,
it. I love the George style. You kill a lot better than this guy, you know.
no,
Um,
just be see, yeah, that was a good line.
when um, when two things, George wins this episode for me. I would have been ranked a lot worse if George wasn't George in this episode. Two things: when George, when George makes his way to Beth's finally after Elaine and Jerry are stopping him, and then he gets there and Jerry calls. That's fucking great, George. It's like all of a sudden now, because that's usually Jerry's thing when George is calling Jerry, like, I need your help. And Jerry, who is this? And this time
Yeah,
George is like, oh, Theo, no, that's great. No, chocolate chip mint. Like, starts going on. And Jerry's like, what are you talking about? That's a great George. I love that George. Um, and the little dance that Jerry and Elaine do when George comes in and they're all like, "You're gonna soup them up." I love that Jerry and Elaine dance. I've always loved that. You know what I'm
oh, the
talking
little
about?
hands in the air.
It's good. It's good.
Georgie boy. Yeah.
So excited to see him.
Did they break up because of me?
What do you got on this? I mean, I need to hear your takes on this because you haven't liked one episode in season 7 besides
Yeah, yeah, like you're being tough on me not liking. I said I like the hot tub.
you like the hot tub. What else?
I I enjoyed the shower head.
Okay,
I
I
like
got
the
those 2 and
caddy.
3. Caddy, I got 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
So
two,
I
three,
mean,
4. Yeah, it's the problem. I guess you're going to agree with me. Then the problem is the complete drop off the cliff, right? It's like there's like 5 good episodes, and then there's just then it's just drop off the cliff.
well, and then it's just like we have to force, the bottle deposit, the soup Nazi. These are all like just
The
big
sponge.
plays for the new stupid fan.
Let's not call them stupid. Let's just say they're slow.
Listen,
Or they just came in. They came in. Here's the thing. I've heard people that are like much younger than us, maybe not much younger than us, but even a few years younger than us, wouldn't they got into it, now. And that's the thing. When you get into it. If you get into it in season 7, you're gonna love season 7. You were too young to appreciate, but you should be watching reruns. I get it, but I mean, I don't know. I think it like sticks
yeah,
with
but
gut thing
I
with
don't
you.
know. Like, listen, the show ages well for me, but when I was younger, like my parents weren't into this show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know
Good
America
point.
was
That's a good
watching it
point.
and the ratings were strong, but like you said this with like Saturday Night Live, like the peak. And I read some article something about like music, like it's like the most influential is like when you're in high school. So maybe that's what it is here. I don't know, but
My mom
for people,
liked the show, but didn't love it. But she liked she liked the Kramer being funny and like a few things here and there. But I don't know. I feel like
well, listen, I'll never forget my grandmother's favorite character was Kramer. So I like
yeah,
Kramer.
yeah. I mean that's what. But I get your point. So the thing is like we. But the thing is like I think what if you watch like season 3 or 4 right now, if you're like a 25-year-old kid and you're like, I never saw Seinfeld, I wasn't around then. Let me start watching Seinfeld. I feel like you're gonna like season 4 better than season 7. It's not just the way we're talking about it. Like I feel like you have to appreciate that humor more than this humor, right?
Uh, I don't know. The idiot millennial you're talking about would no. He'd be like, "Oh, the maestro. That is so. Oh my God, the soup Nazi. I know a guy like that in the city." I don't know. I think
No, I think
it's
they would be like, this is dumb. This isn't funny. There's nothing going
you're
on here. What's
you're
good?
you're giving the youth way too much credit. Look what's out there now that these idiots are watching. It's
What is out there now?
awful.
It's a thing. Nothing.
Yeah, it's stuff like this. Like, trust me. Listen, I'd love to set it up. Let's get a bunch of 25-year-olds and see what they bite at. but I don't know. I don't think so.
If you so when it comes out on Netflix, I feel like like I said, I think our podcast will be primed and ready to go for everyone because people are going to start watching and never watched it before. And you're gonna if you watch it, that's the thing. I've always said this. I don't know, when I got into Bob Dylan music, I started with, I went in order of the albums the way they came out when they came out live, like in real time, to understand the progression. Like it's weird where you catch the show. Like you can't.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You grew up in a different era
Yeah.
where DVR didn't exist, BuzzFeed top 10 didn't exist, and that's what these idiots will look at. And the soup Nazi and Elaine's stupid dance will pop to the forefront, and they'll think that's the cool thing, and they'll go right to
Oh,
that.
you're right. The yada yada yada, Elaine's
Yeah,
dance, the soup Nazi, those will be the ones everyone's gonna watch. Be like, what's so great about this? Because they're the big hits. It's kind of like the same thing like some of my music. Like I'll learn about bands. I'd be like, why did I not know? Why was this band playing on like 104.3 classic rock like hits? Like this is so good. I'm listening to it, but because it wasn't the hit. If you listen to the hit, you're like, this is what is this? It's not that good. But you have to
yeah.
dive a little deeper. So we got to get the fans who want to dive back, like watch the statue, watch the bus boy, watch the phone message. Those are the episodes. It's not
But
the
I think
soup
I
Nazi.
agree, but I think it's a generational thing, and I think the kids today, I don't
I
know.
think you got to go back. You got to go. I think the kids you're talking about aren't even kids anymore. They're like 30. We got to get the 17-year-old. Those are good people. They're the ones who are like the right ones. The kids. The kids you're talking about, because you're going to the kids, but you're talking about like 30 they're like 20, 30-year-old, 32-year-olds. They're not a kids.
Yeah,
And you're right. I agree with you. We got to get the ones that are like 20 something who are like, they're the ones who are like, they've had it with everything they don't give. They just want to see, they're going to like it. I think they'll like this and they'll like Seinfeld.
yeah. All right, so where are we at? Did we do the weight out?
We didn't do the weight out. We did part of the weight out. We didn't finish it.
Oh,
The weight out is I'm there for you.
yeah,
The
uh,
Mickey
yeah.
being folksy. I like that, George. I was just being folksy. Just being folksy. I always love their titles. Flesh Wounds and Ithaca was the name of the play that Mickey was auditioning for. I love the lot, auditioning with anyway. Um, but yeah, overall, the weight out was not great. I had it, like I said, where did I have it? 13 out of 22, so middle of the package. We're gonna do one more, and then I want to hear your season 7 rankings. The last episode of season 7, The Invitations, is Larry David's last episode. Been through this before. He basically writes himself off the series, kills his fucking wife. I mean, how does he keep writing on a show? He's married in real life, I believe, at this point. How is he gonna be? How does he end up continuing writing on a show? When his last show he writes, he basically kills his fucking wife. I mean,
And I listen. I didn't like the episode then. I hate it even more now.
not a fan.
No, I don't know. Like that, it went a little like below the belt, and it was so off. Like they do silly things, like they get a guy fired, this that, but like I don't know, to kill someone that like it just had a bad taste in my mouth. Like there could have been other ways to do it. Um, and I don't know, that really like rubbed me the wrong way. Even back then and now, I have the same take.
I can
I
see
didn't like
that.
it.
I definitely
And then
respect it.
they just roll it.
Yeah, no,
Let's
I
try to
had a, yeah, go ahead.
let's try to be funny and go and let's go get coffee. Like I don't know. Like I was like I never laughed at that.
I don't like that part of the episode. I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. I agree with you. I think they tried their best to make it uh like you shouldn't feel that way. They didn't want you to feel like the way we feel, but you're gonna feel that way. Like no matter what they can do, no one doesn't like Susan. No one's gonna be like, oh yay, Susan's dead, right? Even though they tried to make her seem that way in this episode, I felt like she's like, I don't want Kramer in the thing, and she seemed a little bit more mean. I felt like in this episode because they wanted you to not feel the way that you're saying you feel, and how can you not when they kill a fucking character?
Yeah, maybe, but it just it. Let's put it this way: Curb Your Enthusiasm, fine, but like this wasn't consistent with the first 6, 7 seasons. Like
Well,
that,
I see. I would say that it was consistent with George's character, though. Like, he picks the invitations out. He picks out the cheap invitations. They happen to kill her. The entire season, he's been trying to get out of this wedding. He never wanted to get married, and then this is his out. So it's consistent with George and the season. I think I have to say, but with the series and a sitcom, and being an NBC and like yes, I agree. There, I mean, the
I,
handicap spot's probably the closest we come to anything, right? I mean, this
I
is
get,
beyond
and
that.
I get it. The envelope was pushed a lot, but this one, for some reason, just I don't know. It didn't because it wasn't funny. Maybe that's the bottom line. It just wasn't funny. Like the handicap stuff was funny.
I agree. I think I never liked the handicap spot in general as an episode. Um, and this episode I don't love.
I
And
mean,
you're talking to me. I
like
had it lower and I put it a little higher because of a few other things. The
the John Lovett stuff. I don't like joking about cancer, but that stuff was funny. Like
yeah that had that.
this
Then
stuff
he gets
is
hit by a. I mean, I thought the forced funeral of John Lovitz was very nonchalant and very even worse than this almost, where Jerry was just like, "Oh no, get by a car, we're going to the funeral." Like that was just they just crammed it in to go to a funeral. It was worse than the cancer stuff.
yeah. That was right there, borderline. But for some, I don't know. But like this was just like I don't know. I think they just tried to wrap it all up too like quick. I don't know what they could have done, but with that said, I think you have in here like George trying to get out of it. It's funny. Like
That's the
what do
thing. He's
we
trying to
get
get
on
out
a
of it. So
plane?
they probably were like, how else can he get out of it? And I've always thought that it's the reason why I feel like Larry David was like, I want to get out of this show. I'm done with this. And I'm just going to, I think he purposely made it bad, like the way you're talking bad. So he could be like, I'm fucking done. Like, this is a bad, it's going to, I hate this thing. I'm killing, like, that's, he probably thought the worst thing you could do. He's like, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. And it never sat well with me the way it's not sitting well with you. Like, why do that? Like, you could have a million things. That's the thing you picked, just fucking killer. Like, I don't know. It's odd. Definitely odd.
Yeah, like an easy way out. I don't know. Get creative. Could have done anything. The absurdity of this season, like it could have been like something as stupid as like her getting with Todd Gack, like whatever. I don't even know. That's dumb, but it would be consistent with this season.
I think
Um,
her breaking up with him would have been funnier, like somehow, and him, like, I don't know, like, yeah, you're right. I mean, this is the thing, though. I mean, I know the answer, but you must really hate the rest of the season, the series, then, because now it's like, what do you do after that? Now George is just living his fucking life. I know Summer of George is coming up, and he mourned, and then they bring the whole foundation and everything else, but like, the whole rest of George's plot is now off of this, like that's why the whole series ends for you, I'm assuming.
these, these next few seasons are going to be really tough to watch for me.
I agree. Actually, I don't think I've really, I've probably, if you want to talk about number of times I've watched episodes, seasons 8 and 9, some of them I've probably only watched once, I bet, like not even twice, maybe twice with a few of them. But if you go back to like, seasons 2, 3, 4, I've watched them literally hundreds of times, probably like, 50 times, 25, 30, 50 times. 8 and 9, I don't think I've watched, more than once most of those episodes. Like, it's going to be like this time I'm watching stuff.
Listen, I've said it from the beginning. Elaine loses the poof, the show's over. And I'm consistent with that. Nothing's changed. Like, there's some spots here, yeah, and the Costanzas are very funny, and Jerry still remains rock solid. But when the other three just lose themselves, and secondary characters take charge of the show, then it's not the show anymore.
Agreed. Agreed. I think there's too many cooks in the kitchen as far as the writing goes on these episodes. Director's no longer Sharon's. It's gonna get interesting 8 and 9. We're not gonna say a lot of positive things, but we'll still keep the podcast happy. Um Garofalo's in this one with Jerry. That's I mean, what are you gonna do? They had to do something with Jerry, set myself off my feet. I always liked Garofalo. Maybe I'm in the minority there. I liked her back in the 90s. I've always liked her. Um I saw,
Yeah,
yeah, a funny story. I saw her at a comedy club with like a bunch of other people. It was like maybe like 5 or 6 comedians doing like 15 minutes each in the city back in like either December or January, like right before the shit of the fan. And my wife actually went to the bathroom and she was in there with her and she had like a little chit chat with Junior Graphical in the bathroom. It's pretty funny. She came
when
back.
was this recently?
Yeah, this was recently. It was right before the
Oh,
shit of
wow.
the fan. I went to the stand in New York City, the comedy club, and she was one of the people on the bill. It was like Mark Norman, Joe List, who I'm trying to get on this show. By the way, they're huge Seinfeld fans. They were there. That they performed. She performed. The guy Shane Gillis and Ari Shafir, I think, was the other guy. It was maybe 5 or 6 people. And yeah, Amy, my wife went to the bathroom. And she comes back. She's like, Ginny Goff was on the bathroom with me. I talked to her for like 5 minutes or whatever. She like said great set or whatever. It's pretty funny. But I always liked her. I thought she was good
Yeah,
in this episode too.
I'm just indifferent to her. I don't not like her. She's fine. Um, yeah, she was good this episode for what she was. Like,
She
I
played Jerry. She basically played
yeah.
Jerry, and she did it well. I thought. I
I do
mean,
like when Kramer came in and Jerry's like, "I'm in love," And I love the Kramer's great in this episode when he keeps coming in and he's like, "Ooh, that's right up her alley." Like, you tell he just hates her.
oh yeah, he
Um,
hates her. When he walks in, he's like he doesn't say hi to her. He kind of says hi to her as a
yeah.
breath. Yeah, yeah.
So that's why he's like, they didn't. Yeah, they said hey to me, not hi, and like,
I didn't like that part actually. I didn't like
no,
the
but
whole hey.
his
But that
his
guy
role
Root is really good. The manager in the bank. He's been in a million things. I love that guy. He's in like Office.
is from The Office. Yeah, he's the
Yeah,
Red Stapler.
yeah. He's
Um,
good.
Office Space. Sorry, not The Office.
Yeah, he's in Office Space, and he's also in Veep, the one I was telling you. The Veep is a good show, actually. Um, the thing, the cut when they do the cut to like 50 years later when Jerry and Kramer are old and they're still doing their thing and
I
they're
like
not married. That was kind of funny.
So Veep. Have you watched any other? Did you ever watch the? God, I'm drawing a blank on what it was.
No,
But
no.
J,
The George's thing that he did and Kramer's thing that he did and Elaine's other thing. No,
Chase Alexander was playing Tony Kornheiser. Oh,
no.
it was called Listen Up, the sitcom.
I
So
couldn't. No, I mean,
bad. I watched.
Alexander's done not. I mean, he's probably actually Kramer's done nothing really either. I mean, if any of them, I mean, really, Louise has done the. Julia Louise has done the most between. She had that other show, the Christine show. I never really watched it, but she did that. Veep is actually the first like few seasons of Veep is like really, really, really good writing, really funny. It's all Seinfeld people. Mendel's one of the writers,
Yeah,
Schaefer. It's a great cast, really good show. Um,
I've heard good things. I'll probably never watch it, but I've heard good things.
Yeah, and even Curb. I don't know. Like we're gonna have to think of what we're gonna do after we're done with this because we only got a few more of these to go. But we're gonna have to keep this thing going. But I don't know if we do Curb or we just fucking shoot the shit or we just go through like episodes or rank them better or I don't know. We just have to keep doing this. But we're running out of. We're done with season 7 now, so we got 2 more for 8 and 2 more for 9. Um, what do you got for season 7 now? I want to hear something, some way of ranking these for you. I know we're not going to do, we go back and forth, folks, on our rankings. Nothing is solidified till we do our full ranking shows. But
I mean,
what do you
of this,
got? I mean, I'm going to put
how
these up.
about this? How about I give you my top five of the season and
Yeah,
the
yeah. Give me your
rest
top 5. Hold on. Let me just do
in
some.
no particular order? I
All
would
right. Give me your
probably
top 5 in no particular order. Because you can
uh,
see mine. These are mine, my top 5.
I would say I'll agree with the hot tub, the shower head, the caddy's good, the calzone. Yeah, I'd put the calzone. I wouldn't put the Cadillac in there. I'll put the calzone up there.
So you do rye, hot tub, shower head, caddy, calzone as your
Yeah, I
top
wouldn't have the
5.
rye.
Maybe
I
not that
wouldn't have
order.
the. I'd have the rye fifth in my part here.
You'd have hot tub 1. It sounds like.
I enjoy the hot tub. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, hot tub's great. Hot tub rye. So I would say for us, hot tub rye, showerhead, caddy, calzone, and then I have the Cadillac in there. So those are like our top 5 or 6. And then the pool guy. From everything else, this is the problem with this season is everything else is not great. Like if you go to like seasons 5 or 4 and you start doing this,
Oh, please.
I mean, the ones that are like 10 of the season are going to be like, just like, what did you, do you like 5 better than 4? I forgot what your thing
I
was.
think when I originally said it, I'll have to see what the rankings come when I do my rankings. But I think I had it season 3,
Oh,
5,
that's
then
right. You
4.
like 3 even better.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love 3 too. I mean, I'm looking at 3 right
I
now.
mean,
Like,
come on. Look
I
at
mean, alternate side, red dot, limo, cafe, no pen, parking space, boyfriend, the keys, Pez dispenser. I mean, I've
the
already
part.
gone through 10 and you probably have I mean, you're going to like I think the tape is the one with the massage, isn't it? Or no? Or that's the note. That's the note. So that's up there. You like that one. Van Holyfield. That's in my 5.
Yeah.
I mean, the top 10 of season 3, parking garage, the fix up, the tape. I mean, right. The library is even really good.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Season 3 is really hard to, there's a couple of the dog, the nose job, and the stranded are in this other in this season, which I've always ranked very, very, very low. But other than that, this season 3 is really good.
Yeah, it's just tight. Yeah.
I mean, 4 is really good too, man. I
Oh,
love
four,
4. I mean,
four's
I love
excellent.
season 4. I love season 4.
I mean, look at this. You have the junior mid at the bottom. I mean, come on.
I can't believe I have the Dream Mint that low. Every time I look at it, I'm like, why is Dream Mint so low? Why is Dream Mint so low? Every time I go through this. But I mean, season 4, you got the contest, the outing, the bubble boy,
I
the
mean,
implant, Chiva letters, the pitch, the opera. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I can't see. Hold on. How many episodes? 20, 3,
23
4, and 5. How many episodes there? Like, say 60 total?
for between 3, 4, and 5.
Something like that.
Um, yeah, it's probably around 60, something like
So,
that.
yeah, I'm going to have it's going to be, and then 6, it's going to be really hard for anything in season 7 to crack my top 50. Based on what I
three,
know.
4, and 5. 3, 4, and 5 is 66 episodes. Right now, I think the Rye and the Hot Tub definitely cracked the first 66, but not only because of a few of those bad ones in so my top, yeah, I have 38, 40. I have 3 in the top 66 from season 7. You're right. You're totally right. The Rye, the Hot Tub, and the Showerhead are the only ones that crack the top 66 from season 7.
Yeah. And forget about
That's a good
season
way
8.
to look at it, actually. Yeah.
I don't even want to look at 8 and 9 yet, but
I mean, I have a feeling it's going to be. You're right. It's going to be tough to get through them. It really is. But we got to do it. We got to do it. We're doing it for you folks, the 5 people out there listening to this thing. We're doing it for you.
all right.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, man. Till next time.
All right.
All right, later.